who are our players out of EC?
Alrighty, well, in the southern spawn locations, we've got Team Last Second Alliance, which is, of course, CatZ, who is spawning as the Teal Zerg, and his ally, Fnatic Rain, who is spawning as the Blue Terran. And then, of course, in the northern spawn locations, Team Pink Fluffy Unicorns, not bunnies, but unicorns. And that is, of course, made up of Delphi and kAra playing under the ID ESK Gaming, or ESC. I'm not sure if it's ESC or ESC. I know Goody is on that team, but either way, he's playing under that ID. He is the green Protoss, and then, of course, his ally, Delphi, is the red Zerg.
And a fast extractor, double extractor trick from CatZ. He likes to do that a lot. We'll likely see a pool following that. And is there an Overlord coming out? Nope, so he's going to be going double extractor trick with a pool. Out goes the scout for Fnatic Rain. And no, nothing being produced. Are we, what is this? It's cutting a couple SCVs, it looks like. He's saving up some money. He's up to 150. And down goes something somewhere.
Oh, the proxy barracks in the north center of the map. There we go. And he's cut that to get that at 11. He's sending out another SCV. Very likely he'll proxy a second barracks. And this is actually what we saw before from these two guys. So this is definitely going to be potent. Now, we know this map. There's 2 ramps as well as the destructible rocks. So this is going to be tricky. Now, Team Pink Fluffy Unicorn should be starting to figure out something's up when they pop in here and see that there's no barracks. Also, they should be able to kind of notice that, you know what, that's not, 14th SCV. This guy isn't going command center first. He's proxying. And so we'll see how they... Oh my god, a hatchery coming out from Delphi. I don't know about this.
Yeah, and, you either have to cut your losses, just cancel that, throw up a spawning pool faster than you could, or, try to defend somehow. It looks like the spawning pool had already started, though, so it might be a little bit late for a cancel. With ESC Gaming could try to wall off both sides. I don't think he'll be able to, and this could be pretty scary. CatZ is going to have that speed started. He's probably just going to make all lings from here on out. He's really got to support that proxy racks from Fnatic Rain, but that fast expansion probably not the best idea now that he knows what's happening.
Yeah, CatZ actually is supply capped here with this queen, though. He obviously didn't lose an Overlord, so this is a little bit bizarre how he's supply capped at 18. That's a bit of a rookie mistake, CatZ. But either way, their opponents just don't seem too ready, and they've compensated by trying to get this, second gateway up, but that means there's not going to be any stalkers to kite. And these Marines are just going to be super good. You can see the position here is very good for these Zealots, but once again, with Marines behind, it's going to be very hard for these Zealots to stay alive, and looks like one will be taken out. This next one is actually surrounded. Great position on this SCV using that stop command just to sit there, and it looks like another Zealot going to die basically as soon as he pops out. And I don't know why they're not killing the pylon. If you could tell me why, that would be cool.
Your guess is as good as mine. This little choke, actually, the one spot that your units can fit through, actually ended up backfiring for ESC and Delphi. That those Zerglings just kind of bouncing around the back, not able to do a whole lot. And
ooh, a nice flank, though.
Yeah, flank from the Marines. That Zealot absorbing a lot of damage. Looks like they will clean this up. That's a lot of Zerglings coming out, and that's one advantage of having the 2 hatches compared to CatZ 1. And also, it probably wasn't good that CatZ supply capped himself.
Yeah, supply capping yourself at 18, that is going to cripple you. I wonder if he noticed that or he was just wondering. That's another one of those perks from, listening to the voice chat. But either way, these barracks, any Marines that pop out now probably going to die. He really needs to lift these off and do something. CatZ is now going to follow up with an expansion, but, that can only really be considered a failed rush there, really. He actually did take out the, that one gateway, and I guess he's got some lings somewhere in the main. I'm looking for them. Maybe they were cleaned up, but he did kill that gateway, but once again, that's not really the type of damage they were looking to do.
It seems like a desperation expansion. It seems like, I wasn't able to spend my money well enough because my queen was late. I supply capped myself. I couldn't inject as much as I wanted. I'm only on 11 drones, but I have 500 minerals. Throw down an expansion. And that's exactly what he did. It's going to allow him to produce the lings faster, but he's only at 11 drones. He's not going to be able to mine from that expansion at all, really. And I'd say they're pretty far behind at this point. That was pretty good defense. I was surprised. Pretty good defense by Delphi and ESC.
Yeah, it's hard to say how much of it was kind of because of the rush was kind of crippled by like one inject of Lings. I mean, an inject of Lings, that is a lot. I mean, while CatZ's going to keep trying to be aggressive, but there's just so many Zealots, and of course, Delphi's got more Lings than CatZ does, and this left side is fully walled off, so they just simply can't do anything, and they're going to have to kind of just sit back and hope. And Rain is just kind of going nuts on the barracks here, obviously, 2 to fly back, so they weren't producing. But he has got 2 more up. He's making an additional one as well as making a factory, so that's just a lot of production on one base right there.
And this is really what CatZ and Rain have to do right now. They know they're behind economically. They've just got to try to turtle up, drone up, and hope their static defenses can carry them to an equal economic game. But if we look here, it's 32 for our Zerg player, Delphi, and he is just excelling over the others. And there we are, a huge surge of drones from CatZ, evening it up to 25 compared to the other two's 26. So I think they're smart in trying to recover in this way. But still, I've got to say they're at a disadvantage, and I'm kind of surprised that ESC isn't taking a Nexus of his own. That leads me to believe they're going to try to end the game as soon as they can.
Yeah, there's just a ton of Banelings right now out for Delphi, and you can kind of slowly send those across the map. It's a very nice wall-off, set up here with these 2 barracks, and then, of course, the bunker behind. And then, yeah, you have to go up the ramp as well. There's no kind of secondary wall-off, though. But, I mean, Rain hasn't expanded either, so he's just going to continue to make tons of units. But there's going to be a lot of sentries, a lot of force fields, a lot of Lings and Banelings, and this is going to be quite a pickle we're in soon.
And that wall is not Baneling proof. I mean, he's got a line of depots and then another line of the bunker, but the Banelings might actually hit that bunker if they cram themselves right in between those 2 supply depots. We'll have to see. There's no force fields to be had. There is no Protoss player. And here come the Banelings. Is that bunker going to be reached? Yes, it did get hit by a couple of them, and there's enough to follow up to finish that off. This is not looking good. I think this might be it. Force fielding one side. This just might be it. That's a lot of Banelings.
Great force fields, though. Also great focus fire on the Banelings from Rain, but it looks like he just doesn't have enough units. The force fields here coming out from kAra are very nice, too. And CatZ's Banelings can just do nothing. Lings going into the mineral line, though, but Banelings, almost able to connect, but just not going to happen. We do have a couple of Hellions out here, as well as a medevac, and CatZ's Banelings hitting pretty nicely there, and wow, taking out a whole ton of Lings.
Wow.
And are they going to hold this?
Wow, they are going to hold this. Those Banelings just crashed right into all those units. Still, more reinforcements coming from Gaming. He's got a pylon towards the middle of the map, but Lings pretty good against Stalkers, man. Hellions coming out to reinforce those. Another single Baneling. I wonder if that guy's going to get killed by the medevac.
Man, Banelings and medevacs. How do you focus fire a Baneling down that's getting healed? I don't know. And look at this huge surround coming out. It's not that many Lings, though, but the Marines actually, with stim, able to stim forward, and they're just cleaning this up, and wow, I want to call that a miracle defense right there, and this game is looking very, very close now. Our Zerg player here, Delphi, does have 90 supply. His opponent, though, only with 34 supply, whereas CatZ and his ally are more even, sitting around 50 and 65, so this game is very much close.
Yeah, and I'm curious, what is taking up so much supply for Delphi? 55 drones on his 2 bases. Doesn't get much better than that. As far as saturation goes, looks like he has switched it up into roaches. But I'm shocked. I don't know how they defended that attack. Those force fields against those Banelings were incredible. And as far as I know, Delphi had a lot of Zerglings in their base, about 20 Zerglings. Maybe they crashed into a Baneling somewhere along the way. I didn't quite catch that, but CatZ and Rain, all of a sudden, in pretty good shape, it seems.
Yeah, I don't think they can push in at all, but they've certainly stabilized. Now, there is still no command center for Rain. It looks like an SCV heading over to build that sucker now, but that's just pretty dang late. He's been making a lot of SCVs. He's got 37 now SCVs on one base, so that is kind of the definition of oversaturation, especially when you've got, your mules mixed in there, so some of your patches are just kind of disappearing. He really needs that command center up pretty badly, whereas the Nexus is up for kAra here.
Yeah, and exactly. That's kind of a good point you put about those mules causing your mineral, single patches to get mined out fast. You want to try to distribute those mules evenly, because some patches here around 600 minerals, and one patch is already gone, so it's kind of crazy. It's not the biggest deal, but if you want to try to maximize your Terran game, just try to keep an eye on that. A Zerg player giving Terran tips, who would have thought? But we are seeing some infestors and an infestation pit from our 2 Zerg players, so we are moving into that pretty typical Roach Infestor composition.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone knows CatZ is good with Infestors. We'll see how good Delphi can be. And this is actually a very beefy-looking push coming out. This might be partially triggered by the fact they have a Ling at the Zelnaga Watchtower at the bottom right of the map. They see CatZ is trying to get a third base. And they might just want to try and deny that, or they might just want to go in for the kill here and punish that. They're going to have a nice amount of Infestors out, whereas CatZ, of course, hasn't actually been able to get any out. He's just starting his patching lanes up right now. And some Banelings way out of position. They will actually connect with a couple Lings, doing a little bit of damage to some Roaches, but not really doing a whole lot, and this is kind of looking like it's going to be all rain in terms of defense here. Marines aren't so good against Fungal.
Not so good at all. There's one Fungal going out on the Marines. Don't really need a second one. Able to pick off most of the Marines. Just a couple left. Here come the Zerglings, and the Stalkers are going to come in from behind, flanking those Marines, and wow, they don't have anything. What the heck is going on? CatZ with just 5 Zerglings, only 7 Marines left, and that's going to be it. I thought CatZ and Rain were actually in decent shape, but it looks like they're about to get overwhelmed. Expect a GG any minute now.
Yeah, their base is just in shambles. There's a Link counterattack taking out the would-be third of CatZ, and just 80 gajillion Roaches, Stalkers, Sentries, a couple Infestors are just massacring everything here, and there's just nothing left for CatZ and Rain, unable to do anything. CatZ actually had 15 Infestors in production.
Wow.
How do you do that?
Wow.
I don't know, but it wasn't enough to win them the game, as they have to tap out with the old GG.